What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Scott Geirman, Daniel Starkand. Guys, this is going to be the video that I have a feeling some folks aren't going to be too happy about. Apple TV is returning this year. That's going to make a lot of people not super happy. The Dodgers have one game scheduled to be on Apple TV, April 28th against the Cardinals. More unhappiness, but here's the kicker. This season, unlike last, you are going to need an Apple TV subscription in order to watch that game. Daniel, I see you shaking your head. This is the trio of bad news for Dodger fans.
I thought the whole goal was to grow the game and get as many eyes on it as possible. Is making people pay for an Apple TV subscription to watch one game. Is that the way to do it, guys?
Yeah, I think so. Scott, right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
I will say it's like the one positive I could throw out here, Scott, and then I can get your thoughts here. As an MLS fan, in order to have MLS games, you had to have an Apple TV subscription plus an additional subscription. So what the good news is, if you've got the Ted Lasso subscription, then you're going to be able to watch Dodger games singular. But this feels crazy to me. Am I off base here, Scott? Like, I'm with Daniel. Like, this just does not make sense. From yes, you could talk about dollars and cents, and Apple TV's paying for it, so it's good for baseball, but it feels like they will lose more money in the long run by pissing people off, by driving fans away, than they will by getting Apple to pay for, however many games they paid for.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's like a hit, I mean, their production quality is fantastic. There's the only thing I'm going to give them. I know I'm going to do this, and then they really brought on, Heidi Watney's fantastic, Dontrell Willis, they'll all be there. Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you, Daniel. I thought grow the game. It's just I don't have an Apple TV subscription personally. I think my girlfriend does, and I just mooch off of that, and that's quite all right. That's a perk. But two things. I'm like 2 steps away from owning a Droid because of this. Not really, but I have Spotify, and I don't like Apple Music, and I don't like Apple TV because of this. So this isn't going to make me say, dang, I need Apple TV. So it's not going to happen for me.
It does feel like too, look, we're all massive Dodgers fans. Obviously, that's why we're here. That's why we're talking about this. If I did not have an Apple TV subscription, I wouldn't get one to watch one game on April 28th against the Cardinals, right? Like, if we're being honest, most people will either A, figure out a way to illegally stream this game, B, go to a bar or restaurant, or C, just decide that out of 162, we're now down to 161 that we're going to be watching, right? Is that where you're at with this, Daniel?
I that's exactly where I'm at. And hey, try telling. I remember having this conversation with my dad last year, who's in his 70s and doesn't have a smart TV and isn't great with technology. So, and he's a huge Dodger fan. So having to break the news to him that there's going to be a couple games that he's not able to watch was not fun. And I'm going to have to do it again because it's not like he's going to remember that conversation. Like, that night is going to come up. He's going to call me and say, where's the Dodger game? How do I watch it? And I'm going to have to say, hey, you're going to have to skip this one.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I do think, Daniel, you brought up the point that is most important. And it's a conversation I've had with Matt a lot, which is about growing the game of baseball. And it's why I'm pro the rule changes. I think the rule changes are awesome. For me as a fan, I enjoy shorter games, more hits, more runs. Those are all good things. But also, it's a lot harder for the baseball is really, really boring argument. It weakens the baseball is boring argument from people on the outside because the games are going to be shorter. There's going to be more action. It's going to be more exciting. And Matt's point has always been there are other things that baseball needs to do if they want to grow the game, such as making games available for more people to watch. No blackout. While it feels like they're taking 2 steps forward by changing the rules and making the game more exciting, it also feels like now they're taking 1 step backwards by going further. Like, they're not solving the blackout issue. They're actually making it worse. And you brought it up, Daniel, but I think that's the key point here. Again, I said, like, oh, cool. Apple TV is probably paying a bunch of money to MLB, and I'm sure they appreciate that revenue. But if the goal is to grow the game and make this a more sustainable business in the long run, it feels like we're taking 1, maybe 2 steps back.
Yeah. And I already know people who only pay for cable spectrum just so they could watch Dodger games. Yeah. So now you're telling those people, not only do you have to do that, but now you have to pay for another subscription service. I think it's, pretty ridiculous. Like, if this was like the game was still being broadcast on Sportsnet LA, and then they had another feed that people could watch, I think that'd be totally fine. I think you might get some younger eyes on the Apple TV broadcast if you do some stuff differently. Like I know the NFL has done some like Nickelodeon games to try to get, you know, kids to watch where there's slime, you know, in the end zone and everything. But that's on top of the regular CBS broadcast. Like it's not only on Nickelodeon, and even so, that's on TV. But nevertheless, I think the fact that they're making it like the game exclusive to Apple TV is just silly. But hey, it is what it is. And as of now, there's only one Dodger game. I would assume later in the season there will be at least one or two more, but hopefully we could keep that number down to, you know, just 2 or 3 total.
Yeah, they've announced the first half, so there's one game in the first batch. But to Daniel's point, Scott, like it's not just this, but then it's also you've got to have, you know, Sportsnet LA to watch most of the games, and then there are some games that are on Fox or on ESPN or on, you know, fill in the blank, and all of a sudden it's like you've got to have a cable package and a very specific cable package in order to watch most of the games. Now we've expanded that to a cable package plus Apple TV.
Yeah, it just expands on the argument, you know, death to the regional sports network. You see what just goes on with, you know, Bally Sports. They're crumbling, and MLB might, you know, have to, you know, take over those broadcasts. And I know those talks are really ongoing, but it's just a really odd thing. It just, to Daniel's point, that you need to have Sportsnet LA and now Apple TV to watch on April 28th. And let me tell you, that looks like a date night for me. like my girlfriend's the biggest winner in the room right now. So it's just in all seriousness, though, it's just a really odd position. I'd really like them to grow the game. Production quality is fantastic. You know, I really like the people that they brought on, but
yeah,
to the casual fan that doesn't know how to, you know, find the illegal stream sites or workarounds or VPNs
or has morals, Scott, or has morals. Come on, now.
We would never do that around here. Never. But it's just, it's difficult. So I'm going to have to make that phone call to my mom and tell her that April 28th, you're, you know, third wheeling. So buckle up.
Yeah, I think Scott needs to step up his game, Daniel. It's a home game. This game's at Dodger Stadium. So how about Scott just buys a ticket for his mom, buys a ticket for his girlfriend, and how about we just get, there you go, 3 tickets. If you're selling 3 tickets to April 28th, I've got a guy interested over here. Scott,
you know where to find me.
There you go.
Maybe this was all in the Dodgers' plan to sell out a random Friday night game in April that probably wouldn't have otherwise sold out.
There you go. There you go. Well, Apple TV again, Dodger fans, if you're still watching, if you're not depressed by the end of this video yet, thank you for sticking around. But that's the news. Let us know what you guys think below. Again, there's probably some people that say, hey, I already have Apple TV. No big deal. But if you don't, you know, it's going to be a $6 or $7 game, basically, that you're going to be watching on April 28th. Or maybe you're going to tell us below you're not going to watch it at all. That's Scott Geirman and Daniel Starkand. My name is Jeff Spiegel. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out DodgerBlue.com, DodgerBlue1958 on social media. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the podcast as well, DodgerHeads, wherever you get it. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, go Dodgers.